Can I do it from here? I logged into this camera. Would that audio be? What is your audio feed? What is this? Oh, that's a big guy. Yeah, he's. This is the one. It's not streaming. But this is me though.
Sorry, Dave.
Oh, that's okay.
That's why I don't like technology. I like handwritten.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Let's do it. Okay.
It's working now.
Okay. Do you want to just?
We're gonna. We apologize for the technical thing. We tested this one several times, but somehow when you are live, this is what happens. So I'm very, very sorry for that. So we're gonna reconvene where we ended up. So we were talking about different topics on the historical part of it. I'm gonna call Paul Newman here and my friend David. Take it from here. Wrap it up quick.
Thank you. Okay. Well, welcome to the Museum of Bible. And what I have here is an ambassador from and an assistant to the director. And he's going to give us an overview of what the Dead Sea Scrolls were all about historically, as well as the time frame when they were found and when they were written.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Take it away.
Absolutely. Thank you. So we're standing right now in front of a copy of the Great Isaiah Scroll, which is the largest scroll that was discovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now, the Dead Sea Scrolls were found in 1947, famously by a young shepherd boy looking for a lost sheep in the caves in the south of Israel near the Dead Sea at a place called Qumran. Now, the Dead Sea Scrolls are the oldest biblical scriptures that still exist in the world today. There are over 900 scrolls, some of them in small pieces, some of them, like this one, entirely complete. Now, the significance of the Dead Sea Scrolls is that they prove that the Bibles we have today contain the exact same text as the ancient peoples, including Jesus, read at the time. They were typically written in the last few centuries of the BC period, either the 2nd century or 1st century BC. They contain just about every book of the Bible, including some of the Apocrypha, the Book of Enoch as well. So the significance was, before they were found, the most recent, or the oldest biblical scriptures, dated back to about 1000 AD. And there were always these thoughts, worries, concerns that what if the Bible we're reading today has been changed from the ancient period? And before they were found, we could only check back 1,000 years to see. When they were found in the 40s now, we could look at the scriptures that were being read 2,000 years ago, including complete copies of Genesis and complete copies of Isaiah that are almost exactly the same, word for word, as the copies that we have today. So that's how we know that the Bible, the biblical scripts that we read, are the same that were being read in ancient times, and they've been preserved throughout generations and generations of scribes. Now, at the museum, our exhibit takes you through the entire history of the Bible. Before the invention of printing, biblical scriptures had to be written out by hand, like this one here behind me, all by hand by trained scribes. During the Christian period, an entire Bible could take at least a year to complete, sometimes more, depending on the ornateness of the style. When Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press in the 1400s, that changed the entire world in terms of how information was transmitted. Now a Bible could take under a month to produce. Dozens of Bibles could be produced in the same amount of time that would have taken to produce just one. So books, literature became widely available to folks. Reading became significantly more widespread. And of course, reading the scripture was now something that was available to all people around the world. And today, that effort still continues, throughout every continent.
Wonderful. Oh, thank you, Dave.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was phenomenal. And so what he basically discusses the origins of the scriptures
Yes, sir.
and roots and branches, so where they started and where they're going to, and how they are being validated simply
Sure.
by thousands of years later, and it's exactly the same origins of the Bible, the writings of the prophets were confirmed as being accurate. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And any mistakes, in fact, I understood any mistakes, what did they have to do, these original scribes?
Well, scribing was a difficult task, especially if you were working with scrolls. In the ancient time, before books were commonplace, if you made a mistake on a scroll, that was a significant problem for you. You now had to take apart the scroll, remove the mistaken page, reassemble it if that was possible, or if not, just start the scroll entirely over. That's why books, the fancy word being codex, two covers with pages in between, made it significantly easier to write scripture. Now, if you made a mistake, you could just tear the page out and start over on that page as opposed to starting the entire book over again. So, that practice, which emerged around the 300s and 400s, uh, and added to the significance of the Gutenberg press in the 1400s, that made Bibles more accessible to people. Obviously, a book is a little easier to carry around than a scroll, and made it easier to create, which of course adds to making them more accessible to folks.
Oh, very good. You're articulating this. Yeah, excellent. And so Isaiah, its accuracy, you would then confirm that all of these scrolls are exactly duplicated from the previous
Yes.
prophets and the writers.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
the scribes
yes.
had a very painstaking process of transmitting the Bible. Every Torah scroll would be copied from a previous Torah scroll, uninterrupted, with intent. It's a very sacred process, um, and that's how we know the Bible is the way it has always been for thousands of years.
One last thing here is that because Isaiah has been confirmed and validated in some of the writings in the Qumran community. These were prophets, and these were people current to the time of the coming of Jesus Christ. And Isaiah, if I understand, and I've read it over a few times, the whole purpose of Isaiah and his heart was to see the coming of the Messiah, and that's what the Qumran community.
Yes,
was
sir.
about, yes.
Yeah, many of the Dead Sea Scrolls that
Yes.
were found around Qumran, that community that we believe wrote many of them, talk about the coming of a Messiah. Now, messianic thought was commonplace in the time, the last few centuries before the birth of Jesus. The Israelites were being oppressed by the Romans, and many felt like the day was soon that a Messiah would come to save them, either militarily or spiritually. There were all sorts of different ideas that people had about what the Messiah would mean. But that's a common thread throughout a lot of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Is this idea that a Messiah, a great battle, something was coming on the horizon there.
Thank you so kindly.
Absolutely,
Yes,
of
yes,
course.
yes.
Thank you.
And so I'm going to pass the baton on to our dear friend Tesfu.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate you. So in Africa today, millions remain without Bible in their own language. There are, if you ask me, there are a lot of tribes in Kenya, in Tanzania, in Uganda, in Ethiopia that don't have a Bible in their own language. So we took this responsibility to all of us that, as the Matthew 28 says, our job is to go and help and make them disciples, right? So part of this is printing Bibles in their own language and making